The Humber (ʰ̀hmbər) is a large tidal estuary on the east coast of northern England. It is formed at Trent Falls, Faxfleet, by the confluence of the tidal rivers Ouse and Trent. From here to the North Sea, it forms part of the boundary between the East Riding of Yorkshire on the north bank and North Lincolnshire and North East Lincolnshire on the south bank. Although the Humber is an estuary from the point at which it is formed, many maps show it as the River Humber. Below Trent Falls, the Humber passes the junction with the Market Weighton Canal on the north shore, the confluence of the River Ancombe on the south shore, between North Ferriby and South Ferriby, and under the Humber Bridge, between Barton upon Humber on the south bank and Kingston upon Hull on the north bank. Then meets the North Sea between Cleethorpes on the Lincolnshire side and the long and thin headland of Spurnhead to the north. Ports on the Humber include the Port of Hull, Port of Grimsby, Port of Immingham, as well as lesser ports at New Holland and North Killingholme Haven. The estuary is navigable here for the largest of deep-sea vessels. Inland connections for smaller craft are extensive but handle only 1/4 of the goods traffic handled in the Thames. History. The Humber is now an estuary. When the world sea level was low during the Ice Ages, the Humber had a long freshwater course across what was then the dry bed of the North Sea. In the Anglo-Saxon period, the Humber was a major boundary, separating Northumbria from the southern kingdoms. The name Northumbria came from Anglo-Saxon Northumber equals the people north of the Humber. The Humber currently forms the boundary between the East Riding of Yorkshire to the north and North and North-East Lincolnshire to the south. From 1974 to 1996, the areas now known as East Riding, North Lincolnshire and North-East Lincolnshire constituted the county of Humberside. On the 23rd of August 1921, the British airship R-38 crashed into the estuary near Hull, killing 44 of the 49 crew on board. Crossings. The estuary's only modern crossing is the Humber Bridge, which was once the longest single-span suspension bridge in the world. Now it is the 7th longest. Before the bridge was built in 1981, a series of paddle steamers operated from the Corporation Pier railway station at the Victoria Pier in Hull to the railway pier in New Holland. Steam ferries started in 1841, and in 1848 were purchased by the Manchester, Sheffield and Lincolnshire Railway. They, and the successors, ran the ferry until the bridge opened in 1981. Although the railway to New Holland closed in 1977, passenger and car traffic continued to use the pier until the end of ferry operations. The line of the bridge is similar to an ancient ferry route from Hessle to Barton upon Humber, which is noted in the Domesday Book and in a charter of 1281. The ferry was recorded as still operating in 1856, into the railway era. The Humber was then a mile across. Defences. The Humber forts were built in the mouth of the river for the First World War. Planned in 1914, the construction started in 1915 and they were not completed until 1919. A coastal battery at Easington, Fort Goodwin, a Kilnsea battery, faced the Bull Sands fort. They were also garrisoned during the Second World War, and were finally abandoned for military use in 1956. Fort Paul is further downstream, a Napoleonic-era emplacement replaced in the early 20th century by Stallingborough Battery opposite Sunk Island. Crossing on foot. Graham Boanas, a Hull man, is believed to be the first man to succeed in wading across the Humber since ancient Roman times. The feat, in August 2005, was attempted to raise cash and awareness for the medical research charity, Deborah. He started his trek on the north bank at Brough. 4 hours later, he emerged on the south bank at Whitton. He is 6 feet 9 inches tall and took advantage of a very low tide. He replicated this achievement on the television program Top Gear when he raced James May, who drove an Alfa Romeo 159 around the inland part of the estuary without using the Humber Bridge, crossing by swimming. On Saturday, the 26th of August 1911, Miss Alice Maud Boyle became the first woman to swim the Humber. Boyle, aged 19, residing in Hull, was the Yorkshire swimming champion, crossed the Humber from Hull to New Holland Pier, swimming the distance in 50 minutes, only 6 minutes slower than men's record. Since 2011, Warner's Health have organized the Warner's Health Humber charity business swim. 12 swimmers from companies across the Yorkshire region train and swim in an ellipse from the south bank to the north bank of the river under the Humber Bridge over a swim approximately 1.5 miles in length. Etymology: this river's name is recorded in Anglo-Saxon times as Humber and Humbry. The Humber was once known as the Abused, for example in Edmund Spenser's The Faerie Queene. The Latin name Abuse has the meaning of black, dark river. The successive name Humber, Umbri could continue to have the same meaning. In fact, the Latin verb umbro means to cover with shadows, with the sense of black, dark river. Another hypothesis is that, since its name recurs in Humber Brook near Humber Court in Herefordshire, Worcestershire, the word Humber may have been a word that meant river or something similar, in an Aboriginal language that had been spoken in England before the Celts migrated there. An element *Cambry channel, river, is reconstructible for Proto-Celtic and the ancient Celtic prefix *su, good, routinely developed into Welsh *I. The Humber features regularly in Geoffrey of Monmouth's 12th century fictional chronicle Historia Regum Britanniae. According to Geoffrey, the Humber, invariably referred to by the Latin word for river, was named after Humber the Hun, who drowned there while trying to invade in the earliest days of Britain's settlement. Andrew Marvell's poem To His Coy Mistress mentions the tide of Humber.